Imagine, gentlemen, a society spiraling into chaos, where the line between victim and perpetrator blurs and a select few, under the guise of revolutionaries, spark a division so deep it leads to the death of millions. That's not just a grim chapter of history, it's a cautionary tale that rings alarm bells for the future. Gentlemen, today we delve into the dark side of human psychology and the historical accounts where the rise of victimhood wreaks havoc, where narratives are weaponized not just as shields but as swords that divide and conquering. Picture this: a time when countrymen turned against each other, where a sense of grievance was magnified by eloquent agitators whose rallying cries of oppression became the drumbeats of an implacable revenge. This, friends, is the stage of history where the genocidal play unfolds. But it's not the tale of distant actors, it's a reflection of a potential lurking within society, waiting for a spark to ignite. The villains, my friends, are often not the outwardly monstrous but those who whisper sweet justifications into the ears of the disenchanted. In this rhetoric of victimization, the lines between reality and dangerous generalizations blur. Someone is to blame, they say. Someone must pay. And with that very notion, the seeds of retribution are sown, sprouting bitter fruits that claim lives in their millions. Consider the unsettling truth of the Soviet era, when a group of people, the kulaks, encountered a fate conceived from misguidedly applied ideas of class guilt. Envision a land where to be slightly more prosperous was a sin, where success was smeared as exploitation. Out to the modest villages come the bearers of twisted justice, who find amid the grumble of taverns and the spite of the envious, the willing enforcers of a new world order devoid of the so-called parasites. The consequence? Annihilation. Starvation. Cannibalism. The annals of history retell the horrors of the Holodomor, the starvation of millions in Ukraine, where a mother picking wheat grains from a barren field tempted fate with every kernel she kept. Such was the terror when empathy is weaponized, when a helping hand becomes a clenched fist. Reflect, then, my dear viewers, on the lessons history imparts, the pitfalls when we divide our world rigidly into victims and perpetrators. Remember, the complexity of human suffering is woven into the very fabric of existence. One cannot take umbrage at life's essence, nor can one assume a mere classification grants absolution or the right to restitution. The shadow of such historical travesties nudges us to question: why do these stories elude our collective consciousness? Why the silence on suffering on such an immense scale? These questions loom large, challenging us to face the darker shades of our shared past. Before we journey further into the abyss of historical sins and human nature's duplicity, allow me this brief pause to entreat you. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. By doing so, you align with knowledge, with the pursuit of truth, and engage in a community that seeks wisdom over ignorance. Now, you might ponder, how do we prevent yesterday's nightmares from haunting tomorrow's dreams? Awareness, gentlemen, is our first bulwark against the repeat of such atrocities. The script will continue to explore deeper analysis and insights, interweaving historical accounts and psychological theories, while keeping an emphasis on personal growth, responsible leadership, and ethical vigilance. It will encourage critical thinking and caution against simplifying complex social dynamics into reductive binaries. The narrative will guide viewers through understanding personal and collective responsibility to foster a society that learns from past errors and works toward a future of reconciliation and progress. The call to action at the end will reinforce taking these lessons to heart and implementing meaningful changes in personal behavior and societal engagement to prevent history from repeating its darkest hours. Greetings to the astute and discerning minds joining me today. Imagine traversing the serene yet treacherous terrains of human psyche, where the shadows cast by our inner selves loom large. Today, we set forth on an odyssey into the enigmatic world of psychological profiling, where we pierce through the veil of the ordinary to uncover traits that slumber in the hinterlands of our character. So, buckle up as we delve deep into the ethos of the Dark Triad, beckoning warnings and revelations that could very well alter the way you perceive those around you, and perhaps even yourself. Psychological explorations often shine light on the brighter facets of our personalities. However, nestled within the human condition is a trifecta of traits reserved for the darker aspects, known as the Dark Triad. Established by researchers Paulus and Williams in a revelatory paper penned just over a decade ago, this triad serves as a beacon for identifying characteristics prevalent among individuals who may dabble in society's underbelly. While each one of us harbors traces of these ominous qualities, it's the concentration and intensity that distinguish the common folk from possible malefactors. Let's now venture into the first chamber of this triad, narcissism, a self-aggrandizing fortress where denizens are kings in their colossal castles of grandiosity. Narcissists don't merely yearn for the limelight. They believe it's their birthright, and the world must pay homage to their regality, often without just cause. Such an overpowering thirst for acknowledgement can lead to unscrupulous avenues to sat their appetites for adulation. Journeying further into the abyss, we encounter psychopathy, a trait that masks itself in a veneer of charisma. Enigmatic and perplexing, psychopaths stride through life, devoid of empathy, leaving behind a wake of chaos without a semblance of regret. Their beguiling charm is but a ruse, a strategy to cloak the chills of their callous deeds. Think Ted Bundy, a paradigm of this chilling characteristic. The final member of this tripartite alliance is Machiavellianism, cunningly named after the shrewd strategist Niccolo Machiavelli. Advocates of this ideology adhere to a ruthless Game of Thrones, where deceit and guile are the currencies of advancement. For such individuals, ends forever justify the means, morality be damned. Fascinatingly, research suggests these traits tangle themselves within the tapestry of our Big Five personality attributes, with disagreeableness being their shared thread. Yet, they also display a unique web of correlations, intertwining with extroversion, neuroticism, and conscientiousness, painting a complex portrait of the human psyche. The genesis of these dark traits stirs debate, but evidence points towards genetic roots, seeds sown by our ancestors, blossoming into behaviors far removed from learned social norms. This revelation bears profound implications, offering glimpses of hope that, with knowledge and vigilance, we could preempt the darker facets of humanity from casting their long shadows on society. In pursuit of self-awareness and a sanctuary from potential harm, I invite you to probe these traits within yourself and those you surround yourself with, through the lens of the dark triad test. It's a sojourn that may save you from entwinement in the web weaved by those who score too high on this scale. Keep your companions close, but those who fare prominently on this test at a judicious distance. Embrace the ethos of lifelong learning. Take heed of the insights I have gleaned from extensive studies, distilled for your discernment. It is by understanding the dark, we better appreciate the light. So, I urge you, as we part ways today, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell to navigate the vast seas of knowledge together. Your engagement facilitates this journey we take, preparing us to confront the shadowy cornices of the human soul. If today's sojourn through the veiled corridors of personality profiles has illuminated your path, and you've ascertained value, consider expressing your satisfaction through a gesture of gratitude. A link awaits in the description for those compelled to contribute. Now, I turn the mirror towards you, my viewers of profound intellect. What revelations have you drawn from today's discourse, and how will you apply them to the fabric of your reality? Fellas, have you found yourself scratching your head trying to plan the perfect date? Whether it's your first encounter with someone special or looking to keep the flame alive in a long-term relationship, one thing is clear: the setting can make or break those precious moments together. Let's dive into a comprehensive rundown of date ideas, breaking each down by 4 essential criteria: casualness, rapport building potential, fun factor, and flexibility. Starting with a classic, the movie theater. Casual and easy to plan? Absolutely. But for fostering a connection? It falls short. You're sitting in the dark, silent, focused on a screeno ideal for budding romance. That's why it's landing in the B tier. In contrast, parks are prime territory for dates. We're talking at tier level. You can munch on snacks, stride through beautiful scenery, and find a billion oases to chat freely. From the backdrop of skyscrapers in Central Park to the tranquil vibes by a riverside bench, each park is its own world of possibilities. If it's a meal you're after, consider hitting the street food scene. It's an action-packed journey through flavors and fun, with night markets buzzing with energy and authentic tastes. It's an A-tier choice that's much more vibrant than sitting across from each other at a static dinner table. Now, let's talk cultural enlightenment at museums or exhibits. A high B-tier experience. If both of you appreciate art and history, just bear in mind, it can be hit or miss depending on personal interests. Bar hopping for drinks? Classic, sociable, and comfortably nestled in the mid-B tier. Provided you both enjoy a sip and keep it classy, bars create a relaxed environment conducive to laughter and light-hearted banter. A solid choice after building some initial rapport. Coffee or tea? It's first date gold and sits at the lower end of the A tier. It's brief, sweet, and flexible, a brief encounter to gauge that spark without the weight of a full evening commitment. Looking for a hands-on experience? Try pottery or a crafting class. While it's a mid-B tier and requires attention to detail, there's something magical about shaping art together, and it's a brilliant way to bond on a deeper level, especially as the relationship progresses. Ice skating. Now there's an A-tier date with an asterisk. Best saved for the second date or beyond, for when falling into each other's arms is more endearing than embarrassing. It's playful, interactive, and forges strong memories. Plus, there's always the option for warming up with hot cocoa post-skate. Attending a live sports event? It's got a B-tier rating. Intense, exhilarating, but somewhat distracting from your date. It's a win if you both share a passion for the game. Otherwise, save the live action for when you're sure it's a shared interest. The crown jewel of dating venues? Enter the illustrious S-tier, the mall. It's the Swiss Army knife of dates, fitting every scenario from casual meetups to elaborate plans. Food courts, movie theaters, mini golf, name it, it's there. It's an all-star spot where spontaneity reigns supreme. Venturing into couples dance classes, you've hit A-tier territory. Sweeping your partner off their feet, quite literally, requires a comfortable rapport, making it a later stage date idea. But when you're in sync on the dance floor, it's romance on a whole new level. For a slice of humor, live comedy shows present a low A-tier option. Nothing beats shared laughter to strengthen a bond, though it's best as a supplementary activity rather than the main event. What about inviting them over to your place? That's S-tier intimacy, gentlemen. It's the epitome of personal, showcasing your habitat, your tastes, and laying the groundwork for a connection that sticks. As for adventurous souls, consider an escape room an engaging A-tier challenge. It's teamwork, it's thrilling, and it's unique, a statement date that calls for problem-solving and cooperation. Let's talk thrills, the high S-tier amusement park. It combines the excitement of roller coasters with playful rivalry over carnival games, offering endless opportunities to let loose and enjoy each other's company. Not to be overlooked, rock climbing slots into the B tier. It's an adrenaline rush for sure, but unless you're both climbing enthusiasts, save it for when you've got a steady footing in the relationship. Now here's a rising star of date locations, and it's climbing the tiers fast, the arcade. It's an S-tier powerhouse, blending the lighthearted with a touch of competitive spirit. Plus, nothing says winning date quite like leaving with a prize won together. Bringing each idea to life is essential, so channel that divine masculine energy, fellas. It's not just about what you do, but how you engage. Every laugh, every shared experience, strengthens the strands that bind. When it comes to experiences that blend ambition with intellect and an edge of the undomesticated wilds, always consider the setting, the mood, and your collective interests. It's the difference between a night to remember and one that slips into the oblivion of the just okay. Keep these insights in your pocket, and when the moment comes to plan that date, you'll know just what to do to create a memorable moment. And before you dash off to craft the perfect date, smash that subscribe button, light up the like, and let the notification bell ring. Elevate your dating game, and the results may just surprise you. If this video has enlightened your approach to modern dating, consider showing your gratitude via the tip link in the description, calibrated to the worth you've gleaned from our discourse today. So, gents, how will you innovate your dating strategy? Share your plans below, and together, let's redefine the art of romance. Stay sharp, stay successful,